What's up guys, it's Vishu from Geek Starts, and in this video we are going to install the HTTP server and we are going to configure this. So let's start with the first command. We just logged in into our machine, so it's a new machine, so we need to update everything. And since I told you it's a Red Hat distribution, this is basically a CentOS image, so we are going to use yum. Yum is a package manager which you use to install packages in Linux. You don't have exe files like you have in Windows where you just do a next and install. That you can't do that in Linux instances, so you use yum. And the advantage of using yum is it will also install all the dependencies if the package has any, so you don't have to search and manually install them. So you do a sudo yum update and you do a -y, which is yes to everything. So when I click enter, it will, oh, so I messed up my security groups, and this is the error I get every time I create an instance. If you get something like this, I'll show you how to fix this. So this basically says that it is not able to connect to the internet because it cannot find a valid base URL for the repository, which is the yum repo where all the packages resides. So basically yum has a database, you can call it a database. So it has a database of all the packages, and it connects to the database or the repo in this case, and it tries to find a package and it installs it. So it is not able to go to the repo, so we need to change something. So do a sudo vim. Vim is like an editor to edit files. So vim /etc and you do resolve.conf. so this is the file which Linux kernel looks into for DNS settings. In this Linux Amazon AMI, it is not actually present, so it will say it's a new file. Click on I to get into the insert mode and type name server and put this IP address. These two are like the Google DNS servers which are like public, so you can use these servers. Do a escape to get out of the insert mode. If you do escape, you will see that the insert has gone. Do a colon, do a W which will save it, and do a Q which will quit it, or you can do WQ which is save and quit. So once you do this, I am going to run the update again, and then this time it is able to connect to this repo. So it is updating everything is done. It has updated all these packages, and were there any dependencies? Okay, so these were the dependencies that were resolved. So to install all these packages, it also needed these packages which it installed by itself, so we don't have to worry about it. So once you're done with this, I'll clear the screen. Then now we need to install a bunch of packages. So first you do sudo yum install -y. First I'm going to install httpd 24, then php 70, mysql, so it's mysql 56 server, and php 70 mysql nd. So these are the names of the packages that we are going to install. So you do a -y, so you don't have to enter y every time because it will ask you if you want to install these packages. So you do enter and it will start installing everything for you. So once this is installed, you do a sudo service httpd start. So it will start the httpd server, and it will give you a warning, but if you see OK, it's fine. And it says that it cannot find the DNS, like the domain name, and you can set it in the server name. If you actually go to my blog and see the Red Hat Apache in Red Hat distributions, you will see that I have changed the server name, but that's on the local machine. So you can put any server name, it won't resolve to anything. because we manually do everything over there, but this is the internet. So if I put like facebook.com in my server name, that won't work because it won't be able to find facebook.com with my IP address. facebook.com already exists. So it is just giving me a basic generic warning. So once you have httpd running, I am going to do a check config httpd, which means that every time the machine start this service, but it won't tell you if it is like it executed successfully or not. So what I'm going to do is sudo check config minus level, no, what was it, minus l level or l minus, hold on, what was, let me try httpd. So if I do httpd, should be check config minus, oh, it's minus list, not level. So it's minus list, and it will say check config is on for run levels 2, 3, 5 and 4. So run level 2 stands for a basic 2 stands for single user, no, multi-user mode. 3 stands for multi-user with networking, 4 is user defined, and 5 I think is like multi-user with networking with display. So just make sure that 2, 3, 4 and 5 are on. So once you run this, all you need to do now is check the permissions. So I'm going to do an ls-l. So ls-l on var www. This is like the basic base directory of your HTTP. If you don't know how I found this, you can go into /etc httpd conf f.d and dp. Okay, so it's conf, and here you will see all the basic settings. Did I do a cat? Yeah, so if I go up, should have, so let me do a vim on this, and let me do /var www. Where is it? Okay, I'll come back to this. It is defined somewhere over here. Server root is etc httpd, server admin, server directory. Oh, this is the document root. So the document root is var www html, and the directory is the same one. This is where you have to put all your HTML and the CSS files and all the other files that you need. So I'm going to quit, and Q and exclamatory means quit without saving anything. And once you are done with this, now we need to add a group. So I'm going to add a group using sudo group add www, which stands for a new group that I'm going to create for HTTP access. And then I'm going to change my user, which can be done using user mod, which is user modify. I'm going to append it to the group that I just created. So this is like the basic command, and I need to tell which user is this for. So sudo modify user, append it with the group www, and do this on the user EC2 user. So once you do this, I'm going to do an ls-l on var www, and it will say that it is owned by root and root. So the user is root, who is the owner of these folders, and the group is also root. So EC2 user cannot do anything on this, and we need to change files in the HTML. We need to write, delete, like modify these folders. So what I'm going to do is change the group to www. So user root will still have the ownership, but other users in the same group can actually modify things. And I'm going to do this using chown. First, let me show you that I am actually in the group. So I will do a sudo su minus to go into root. So I am a root user now. So I'm going to exit and come back to EC2 user. So if I do a groups now, it will say that it is in US EC2 user wheel, so it hasn't come back in the www group. So I'm going to close this and log in again for the changes to take place. Let me make sure that I ran that command. Okay, user mod. Okay, so let me exit this and let me connect to it again. So let me bring this up here. So LAMP, load, open groups. Now it will say that I am a part of www. So what I need to do, ls-l var www. So I need to change the group. So I'm going to do chown, which is change ownership. Since this is a root command, I'm going to use a sudo to let the kernel know that I'm chown. I'm going to add the user chown minus rf recursively. I'm going to do root and I'm going to change the group to www instead of root. So this would be www everywhere, and all the users belonging to this group, which is currently EC2 user, as you can see here, will be able to modify things. So chown, specify which location it is for. I did a recursively, so it will do for everything inside this, or I can only do it for HTML, but I'm going to do it for everything. And once you're done with this, I'm going to change some permissions. So it will be chmod, and I'm going to, because here you can see the first is directory, D stands for directory, then the user, which is root, can read, write and execute everything, then the group, which is www right now. Let me show you. So now it's www. So the group can only read and execute, he cannot write, and we need to be able to write into these folders. So what I'm going to do is chmod, and let me show you that first. So this is like confusing if I keep talking. So there are three numbers that you need to understand. 4 stands for read, 2 stands for write, and 1 stands for execute. When I do, let me close this. So now what I'm going to do is sudo chmod 775. Okay, where am I? 775. Then I'm going to put /var www and recursively minus rf, which is recursively do this. So 775 means 4 plus 2 plus 1, it's 7. So even in the groups, so the first is for users, the second is for groups, the third is for others. So in the groups, every user belonging to the group has 7 access, 7 as in read, write and execute. So we'll be able to read, write and execute everything inside this, which means we'll also have the same access as root. So I'm going to hit enter, and if I do ls-l now, you can see the settings have changed. We also have a read, write and execute access. So these directory, read, write, execute for root, and read, write, execute for the group, which is www, and then read and execute for others. So now finally we are done with everything. I'm going to restart the service. Let me do a sudo. Did I do that? Yeah. So sudo service httpd restart and http, which is daemon. So once you do this, I'm going to take the public DNS and just hit it and see what comes. Since we haven't configured anything, we'll see the Apache page, the pre-configured Apache page that web server is current. I didn't mean to make this video so long, but it's all the permissions. So you say this page is used to test the proper operation of Apache HTTP server after it has been installed. If you can read this page, it means that the web server installed at this site is working properly, but not been cut. So we have to configure, and we'll do that later. But at this moment we have a server, a web server actually running on our cloud instance, as you can see here. So when I did this, it actually sent a request to this page, this server, which returned this page. So that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video.